Nothing.
Right. Yeah, I was just pouring some coffee into my cup off camera. And,
Saw that.
It's you saw that, but if it showed up, if it's gonna sound like I was
off
peeing on
camera.
the stream.
Oh,
Definitely
you weren't?
It sounded like I was peeing.
Yeah, I sure was. So it's all good either way.
It's all good. We should, dude.
What are all these people doing in the chat right now? It is Labor Day, guys. Labor Day means it's time to get back to work. Bunch of slackers.
Just another day over here. My brother DJs weddings and stuff, and sometimes they can be really like, you know, pain in the butt, you know, like really high maintenance people, and you know, bridezillas and shit, they're always like, this is my special day. My brother's famous line is, lady, it might be your special day, but it's just another day to me. And Labor Day, it's just another day to me. Can we start the show?
Please start the show.
I forgot how. Let's do this. This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I guess it must be 6 p.m. Eastern, and it's probably one of those days. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and the man, the guy, the gentleman, the dude to my right, AJ from the Underground. Excuse me, PSVR Underground.
Joke. You have a
I'll get that out of my throat one of these days.
What is up, NGBP? What is up, NGGCs in the chat? Hello, welcome to PSVR Gamescast Live. New look, new refreshed look. I like how you just slap a logo on it and say, hey, I did a bunch of work. You're not fooling any of us. Happy Monday. Happy Labor Day. You know, Mondays usually suck, but this one should be a lot better. It's Labor Day. Hopefully, I hope a bunch of you are like off from work, drinking beers, shooting off fireworks, grilling out. Is that the wrong holiday? I don't know. Mondays usually suck, but hopefully we can help your Monday suck just a little bit less.
This much less. Emily Baxter, hashtag the game kitten, made our Monday suck just a little bit less with a $2 tip, getting the tip train rolling. Said, I don't know if I should sing it or just say it, but going off the rails on this AJ train, hashtag hire AJ. Do you want to sing that?
Going off the rails on the AJ train. Randy Rhodes, baby. Good stuff.
There's a lot of cats in the chat that are like, what the hell's Labor Day? Good point. If you're not from the U.S., it means absolutely nothing to you whatsoever. Dude, did you see, this is, you know, we can get to housekeeping and stuff later, but did you see that MetalJesus ran a poll, MetalJesus Rocks, right? Ran a poll about VR and basically asked, you know, people's opinions of VR. And I thought that was really cool to see some outside perspective, some other poll that wasn't run by us, you know, outside of our bubble, to see what people really thought about VR. And the 4 options were, it's great, the future is here, 10%. Meh, still not impressed, 21%. No idea, I haven't tried any of them yet, 33%. And then, it's okay, lots of potential, 36%.
Well, I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, the dude covers Nintendo games. Everyone's like, you want good graphics? Play the Commodore 64 and you'll know good graphics and gameplay.
I totally agree with that.
SNES, NES all the way.
Nick Mueller in the chat's like, I don't know who MetalJesus guy is. I actually used to watch quite a bit of MetalJesus. He definitely covers a lot of retro stuff, but he has been getting into VR things, you know, over the last year or two. And so it is just interesting to see that, you know, 33% of the people he polled have not even tried VR. 21% said they're not impressed, and then really only 10% said, yeah, it's fantastic. It's really good stuff.
Well, I think that's a accurate representation of the mainstream audience. But, man, let me tell you.
Absolutely.
Hashtag NGVR. When PSVR 2 gets here, man, people are going to be Oh, I've loved PSVR since day one. No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I don't really care. It's not. It's not about an image. It's not about trying to seem cool. Obviously, it's been a struggle covering PSVR since day one. Not only against like the non VR people, but against PC VR people and stuff. And I love all VR, but I also have a long 20-year, 25-year bond with PlayStation. So I get the PlayStation kind of brand mixed with this new thing that like got me excited about video games once again. And it's like really a super special thing to me. It's like just nothing can describe it unless you're talking about like maybe the first day I played a PlayStation or saw a PlayStation. It's that like huge for me.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And I do think that PSVR 2 is going to be that huge leap that we've been looking for in games that hasn't been around. We were talking in voice chat. I think it was last night. We were talking in voice chat how it really feels like there hasn't been a huge graphical leap or even a leap in gameplay since. I mean, PS3 really. It was like PS3 to PS4 was like, okay, now everything's a little bit better. And PS4 to PS5, it's like, okay, now everything's a little bit better. But I do think that this leap from PlayStation VR 1 to PlayStation VR 2 is finally going to be that huge leap that we've been waiting for, graphically, immersion wise, blah blah blah, whatever. I do want to point out, I read through the comments of that poll, which is, I mean, don't do it if you don't want to hurt your soul. Like my soul feels bruised, right? Some of the statements, a lot of the statements were like VR still is too expensive. There were a lot of positive comments in there. But I definitely wanted to focus on the negative ones. But my favorite comment in the entire list of comments was this one: I really don't need my games to be any more immersive. That was my favorite comment of all the people who responded to the poll. I really don't need my games to be any more immersive. Like it's almost like you can tell who's tried VR and who hasn't.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm done. Like, I'm not done, but I get a little wary of just making the same arguments over and over, and like this thing does. The reality is, it does have a lot of room to grow, and that's a good thing because we've already seen the poll or whatever you showed that said, oh, it's cool, it's okay, but it has lots of potential. Like that's a fair argument. Like I get it. Like there's a lot of stuff that is like hardly standardized and is just a mess. But this was a very experimental phase of PSVR or VR, which I've said 1,000 times, and there's going to be some growing pains, and we've experienced quite a few. And the mainstream audience, the bigger audiences, they want something they can just pick up, put on, and enjoy their games. They don't want to have to figure out a new control scheme. They don't want to have to figure out all these they don't want to be frustrated while they're playing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as the technology evolves, as the software evolves, things will start to feel a little bit more natural. But it'll get there, man. It'll get there.
For sure. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if it was on the last GamesCast or what it was, but Mark Pringlesleaf just donated £5 and said, Pringlesleaf. Telling us what his name means. I needed a name, looked on my desk for inspiration, saw a tube of Pringles and an amber leaf, the tobacco I smoke, so I combined them together.
Wow, nice. I love a good origin story.
Thank you so much, Mark. It was funny. Mark Pringlesleaf. Yep. We just know who you are. And we never questioned it. All right, man. A little bit of housekeeping. Make sure that if you haven't joined our Discord already, click that link in the description below. That is where these conversations happen 24/7. If you're not a big typer, sometimes we just hang out in voice chat. If you're not a big talker, sometimes we just hang out and type. So that's a thing. Also, if you want your name on that Patreon, scroll down below. Don't forget, patreon.com/withoutparolegames. I think that's all the housekeeping. There's no more housekeeping. It's Monday, man. I'm not gonna stress too much about housekeeping. It's a mess around here. Big mess. Sorry. I'm trying to read the screen.
There's a giant fluffy tail.
There we go. I can see it now. Before we get started, man, I know we got quite a few news stories we want to talk about, a couple games that we want to talk about, but I was looking through the Discord and I saw that All You Are is History on Discord left us a #viewer takeover question and wrote, if the PSVR 2 is backwards compatible, what is the first game you will go back to and play with the orbs?
Well, I mean, there's going to be some games that get upgraded anyways. Like, even though because I don't think it's going to be backwards compatible. I think we're going to have to rely on a lot of upgrades or people re-releasing their game as a PS5 version.
Why are you ignoring the question if it's backwards compatible?
Because I was trying to buy myself some time to pick one and then couldn't think of one in time.
Well, I'm going to be generic, man. I'm going to be
ahead.
super generic because so many people, and I think maybe even myself, I know Dave was a big fan of saying this. I think Nicola has been saying this recently. A lot of people have said that Resident Evil 7 wouldn't play as well if you actually had to aim with your hand rather than using head aiming. And I think it would be less easy. I don't think it would be as easy to play without head tracking or head aiming. But I would love to try it that way. I think I'd be scared to pull the trigger more because I'd be more worried that I was going to miss, right? Because limited ammo, lots of monsters, lots of enemies. And so I think it would be more tense because I wouldn't be so convinced that every shot was going to be a headshot, that every shot was going to land the way I wanted it to. So I think Resident Evil 7 is absolutely the answer for this question.
I'd have to agree with that. I mean, but there's a lot of the list of games, but yeah, I can't think of one. Oh, Hitman 3. Boom. Let me think of one right off the bat. Yeah, Resident Evil 7 is an awesome answer. But Hitman absolutely is one that I would love to replay with the orbs. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. Gundy, with das GameCat Vetter said Skyrim. That's a good answer too.
Skyrim, excellent answer. Yeah, a lot of these AAA games that, just kind of didn't get fully built from the ground up for VR features. I mean, even Sniper Elite.
Yeah, big time.
There's a whole list of stuff, and just so many games are going to just naturally feel better with the orbs, with the haptics. I hear that's the one thing I hear so many developers talking about is they're just like, oh, like the orbs, like the adaptive triggers. They're super excited about that, and if you really think about the possibilities that are opened up by the finger detection, the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers, the rumble in the headset. If you think about all the possibilities that can be added and expanded upon using that, that's a big deal.
I totally agree. I think I saw Funkadelic GameCat in the chat say the persistence. Or no, maybe he said End of Zoe. These are all fucking good answers, man. Triangular saying Blood and Truth. Todd Prevento, Hitman definitely agrees with you. There's lots and lots of great answers.
I was actually going to say, though, when it comes to the tracking types between stuff like Resident Evil 7 that has like the head aiming, I like that for the precision that it has. It is really nice, but I still prefer motion controls. I prefer Doom 3, like how Doom 3, if you're playing with the DualShock, I prefer using that to aim. I preferred Hitman 3's motion controls, even though it doesn't function and isn't as solid and like precise as the head aiming. To me, it's just more immersive. Like instead of just walking up and pressing a button to hit somebody, like I get to actually swing a little. And like I know your thoughts on this. I know you don't exactly feel the same, but to me, I just love having that some little bit of movement. It goes a long way for me. I am easily immersed. But
yeah,
I get
best
into
of both worlds, though. Best of both worlds. We don't have to worry about this. Will be great. We don't have to worry about light tracking. We don't have to worry about the dual facing the DualShock 4 in front of the camera. None of that nonsense, man. This is going to be really, really good stuff.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I think Adam in the chat says you update the graphics and add orb support, and I would rebuy Resident Evil 7 for $60. Yeah. I'd have to get a brand new trophy list along with that because I would have to feel like I was making progress all over again, starting a save from scratch, playing through the entire thing from scratch, and re-experiencing it from the ground up. But I need those trophies again.
Well, you're gonna love that Resident Evil 8, PSVR 7, PSVR 2 bundle. I know it. It's gonna happen.
You think it's gonna be a bundle?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Do they bundle the? Well, no, because one's a PS4 and PS5, so maybe it's a little bit tougher than that. But if they remaster 7 and give it a real PS5 treatment, then yeah, I would absolutely expect it. They'd have to have
the horror kind of bundle. The Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, PSVR 2 headset bundle. I'm down. That's the one I want. All right, man. Well, we had a little bit of news this week. A few things to take care of here before we talk about some games that we've been playing. And I think we just announced last week about Song in the Smoke, right? That they had mentioned during that indie showcase a release date.
Right. That is correct. And unfortunately, we have some news on that. Some not great news, but it's not as bad as you might think. You know, Song in the Smoke is easily one of my most anticipated games. I was talking with the developer, and this guy is just like, he's like, I play through this game like once a week. I absolutely love this. I think we've got something really special here. And like, he's got me so fired up and excited. Like he really believes that it's a great game. And after seeing all the stuff on it, I can see why. I think it has so much potential. I think all these games that we've seen over the summer so far had tons of potential, and a lot of them were great in many ways. But 17-Bit posted on Twitter September 4th and said, we're so excited that people are so excited about the upcoming release of Song in the Smoke. Unfortunately, our dates have been liquid and the previously announced release date was incorrect. But the final date should be just a few weeks later. So close.
Yeah. This is extra strange to me because, again, I was only watching that indie showcase for the Song in the Smoke section, and there was
that
no
Asobu?
Yes, and there was no new information other than the release date, and so the sole reason they were there was to debut the release date, and then they're like, oh, by the way, that's not accurate. So okay, I get it. Shit happens. But it does make sense now why they weren't jumping up and down on Twitter after the event, after the Asobu event, being like, "This is our release date!" Ha! You know, it's like, all right, well, I guess shit happens. But they said what? Only a couple weeks later than expected.
Yeah, so that's lining up to be maybe in October, which is kind of sucks because like there's not a whole lot going on this month so far that's at least announced. Of course, we could have a ton of surprises, but yeah, it might end up being in October, which if there's not a ton of games in October, that's going to be great. But it seems like there's a potential for a lot of games in October, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just speculating about October mostly, I think. Obviously, we got Do Not Open on Halloween, which is probably the one I'm most excited for. But then I think we sort of were assuming that Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife would be coming in October.
Wraith might be. Zombieland Headshot Fever might be.
Yeah. I do think this could probably slip in at the end of September. I feel like if they've got the option, I think they'd want to get ahead of the October games if possible. But
you remember last October?
Oh, you mean the lack of anything to play last October? Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe was it? Maybe it was. Okay, maybe it was September that was crammed.
Like, oh yeah, maybe it was the end of September, beginning of October. You're right. There was a ton of stuff. That was craziness. Dylan Gladstone's in the chat. He says, "When's Wanderer due?" Wanderer is one of the pile of games that's been saying summer, or not summer, Q3, which is technically summer, and that's ending very, very soon. The end of this month will be the end of Q3. So we haven't heard an update. Braxbro says, "Where's Hinge? We need that before November 1st." I don't think that's happening.
Never coming.
I do think Hinge is coming, but I do think at this point, it doesn't seem like they have a PSVR dev kit yet, and that's what's been holding them up. They've been ready to go for almost a year now, and they just can't get a PSVR dev kit, which is interesting. I don't know if that's a pandemic thing. I don't know if that's just hey, we're a small time indie dev and we don't have a good relationship with Sony thing. But whatever the deal is, you've got to wonder how many other developers out there are like, yeah, we want to bring it to PSVR and we just can't because we can't physically get our hands on a dev kit. So that's really interesting to follow. And then hopefully, in my book, man, this game looks pretty, and I think it would make a much better PSVR 2 title.
Wanderer looks like it has lots of potential. I don't know about PSVR 2 title. I mean, why not? But graphically for sure. But mechanically, it doesn't seem like it's going to require anything that's going to really need joysticks or, it looks pretty simple and easy to control. It's more about the story it tells and the adventure you go on and the puzzles you solve. And Yeah, definitely a fantastic looking game. It was originally supposed to be like wasn't it? It was supposed to be like an end of the year kind of game, I thought, and then they brought it back and said no, it's going to be a summer release, and now we have heard nothing. So I don't know.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man. But there's a lot of games like that that we're just sort of waiting on, hoping to hear more soon. And this is, this Wanderer specifically has some pretty high production values behind it. But there's still a lot of mysteries, man. Like every single time we see this game, for the most part, you're in one room, and you're looking around that one room, and you're doing stuff in that one room, and we have not seen any movement from one room to the next. Like our when you're jumping through time, right? When you're experiencing the story, are you literally just going from one room to another to another to another, like through the course of time, or are these rooms actually connected in some way? And when you go to different time periods, you actually have big areas to explore. This to me feels like. Did you ever play Kingdom Hearts?
A little bit.
Kingdom
Never
Hearts.
really.
My biggest issue with Kingdom Hearts was always that you'd go to these different worlds, but it was like, oh, this is the Tarzan world. Oh, this is the Alice in Wonderland world. This is the whatever world. This is the Final Fantasy world.
I usually like that kind of layout though.
But too many of them were really small. Some of them were just a couple of rooms, and I was like, "That's all you're giving me for this world is just a couple of rooms." And I always felt like I was cheated, like that if they had spent a little bit more time, they could have given me more to explore and made me feel like these were actually all different worlds. And that's the feeling I get from Wanderer, is the Kingdom Hearts feeling, where I'm like, oh, it's just going to be a little taste of each time period or a little taste of each area, and I'm really going to want to get out there and explore, and they're not going to let me. But
yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, I think that's a lot to ask from a little indie studio. That's the reason these big studios are able to do stuff like that. They're really able to flesh out each area. Sometimes that can backfire too, and you're like, oh, I hate this area. I'm so sick of this place. I want to get out of here. So it's not always a bad thing technically. But really, really excited about that. And yeah, there might, with this delay in Song in the Smoke, that takes off a big thing coming out this month, but we still have as of right now, we still have Saints and Sinners Aftershocks DLC, the September 23rd, then the Rhythm of the Universe Ionia
same day
as well. But I will say there's something else that is potentially happening this week, which I'm not going to say what it is because I want to let them do their announce it. But there's something very, very, very exciting that should be happening this week through the middle of the week. And I hope that comes through and gets announced and will be cool. Will be awesome.
The Arashi Pro Patch, huh? That's going to be fucking awesome. I'm just... I saw Endeavor One in the chat, and I was like, it's the first thing that came to mind. Let's hope that's it. I don't even know, man. I have no idea what's coming this week. Yep. All right, man. Well... moving on from Song in the Smoke, we did see that puzzle Bobble vacation simulator things in the sky shooting bubbles. What's the name of this game?
Puzzle Bobble 3D Vacation Odyssey.
Vacation Odyssey.
It rhymes.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's gonna help me from this point on. What what's the news on this? It got a wish list page.
Endeavor One, by the way, says a storm is coming. Ooh, mysterious.
When all you do is speak in riddles,
they do.
You stop listening after a while.
Thunder from a clear sky.
Right? Like,
dude, they have mastered the art of surprise, okay? The element of the surprise attack. Endeavor Ones are like the kings of that. So
I'm sorry, Puzzle Bobble 3D Vacation Odyssey. That's how I'm going to have to say it from now on.
Yes.
Because that's Puzzle Bobble 3D Vacation Odyssey. Shout out to Hector, a.k.a. Toucan, with a $5 tip. Didn't say anything. If you got anything to say, Hector, let us know, man. Thank you for supporting the channel.
But yeah, man. So I was just flipping through. I do my general run through of all the social medias, all the platforms, anything I can find, and I was just kind of skipping through on the store, and I noticed that the Puzzle Bobble 3D Vacation Odyssey wish list page was now up, and typically once that pops up, it usually means the game is nearing release. Some, not always, but that could be coming out relatively soon. And I got to tell you, I've been playing a lot of Bobble on PlayStation 1 and NES. And like I have grown very attached to these characters, and I really am excited to see them in VR.
What are
The
their
game
names? The
itself,
Dinosaurs? Bill and
Bub and Bob.
Bub and Bob.
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted, Beavis and Butthead. Bimmy and Jimmy. Yeah. Yeah. No, those dinosaurs were adorable, man. I haven't played much. I haven't played much Bust a Move though in years. So this would be nice to go back to. Yeah.
Was that a rhythm game? Was that a
no? That was Bust a Groove.
game?
Bust a Move was this. Basically the Bobble version of shooting spheres at the sky and trying to make spheres disappear by matching colors. We'll see how good this turns out. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. I know this got pretty good reviews over on the Quest because I think that's where it launched first. I think so, yeah.
I hope so.
And this is, but I'm curious to see how frequently I want to pick up my headset to play something like this. Sometimes smaller games like this, I go, do I really want to put on the headset just to do this for 10 minutes? Like the Angry Birds, whatever the traditional Angry Birds VR game was, not the movie tie-in. That to me,
Isle of Pigs.
Yeah, that's right. That I never really wanted to go back to that. I always thought it was cool that they kept giving us free DLC, but it just didn't feel like the kind of game that I wanted to go back to in VR. I know that's sort of like the bread and butter of like Quest and a lot of different mobile headsets. But for me, when I put on a headset, that's not really generally what I'm looking for. So I feel like this is going to be something that I put on. I put the headset on. I blast through it from beginning to end. I play the entire game in 1 6-hour sitting, and then I review it and I never go back to it. I kind of feel like that's how I'm going to consume this game, and that's not how this game is meant to be consumed. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, for me, this is definitely targeted towards people that just love the IP, love Bub and Bob, love Bobble, Puzzle Bobble, Bust a Move, all those. So, and I don't think it's going to have a lot of reach beyond that. But it's still now, like, your Long Shadow says, nice to have you on the hype train, AJ. Yeah, I am super. I am a huge fan of this game now and this IP, and I know it's been around forever. I've played tons and tons of games, lots and lots of games, but I miss a lot as well, and this was one of them. And I was so surprised how good the original game is. It's dope as hell, man. I highly recommend it, especially co-op.
Yeah, good times. You can only get you only get the real ending in co-op too, so good luck with that. Yeah. Hector, AK Toucan, followed up his tip with, "You guys rock. Keep up the good work." Thanks, Hector. You rock as well.
Thank you, Hector.
Gatorade 23, the H2O despising game cat with the $10 tip, said, "Here for us on Labor Day. You guys are awesome."
It's not Halloween. Sorry, we tried, but we can't force the days to change. But yeah, man, any holiday. I think, didn't we do a Christmas episode? I don't know.
Yeah, pretty sure we did a Christmas episode.
We don't take holidays here, guys. We are always here.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see my family and stuff, for a couple hours, but then I really want to come home and spend time with you guys. Like, that's what I really want to be doing on my holiday. So, so thank you guys. Appreciate you being here with us. Anyway, so this got a wish list page, but no date. This is also a summer release game. So, what's the guess? Do we think this is going to get a release date, or it's just going to get stealth dropped one of these days?
I think it's gonna maybe just get stealth dropped. I'm not. I don't know. I don't think there's anything that really ties it in. But yeah, to me, it was the big announcement was like the 35th anniversary. It's the 35th anniversary of Bobble.
Yeah.
And so like they've been celebrating all year long because of that. The actual anniversary day was just a few days ago, or a week or two ago. Yeah, but the game looks decent. There's some details on it, not a whole bunch, but I think it's like let's see. I thought it was maybe 100 levels once again, but there's three-dimensional form. There's all sorts of stuff here. Solve 100 brand new puzzles. So like Bobble, it has 100 levels. These are 3D puzzles with different challenges. There's also going to be special items, and then there's also I think a 1 versus 1 mode in this.
Scotch Esco PSN Harry Fellow PSVR GameCat for life with £5 says, "Hey boys, just been playing Saints and Sinners for the first time, and OMG, it's good. I'm on day 5, got used to the mechanics now, and oh boy, it's VRAF. Hashtag hire AJ."
Hell yeah, it is. It's so good. Oh my god, so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I stood. I probably spent the first 8 hours of that game just scavenging. I couldn't even continue the story because I was just having so much fun going out into the towns and collecting stuff and bringing it back and crafting new stuff and unlocking new different things. Yeah, so much fun, man. You are in for a real treat. It is so good.
Yeah, 100% agree. That is, we just don't get games like that very often on PSVR, unfortunately.
No.
MRI Gamer in the chat says, "Is Bobble Servios' return to greatness?" Like,
I think it's maybe just to help them pay the bills a little.
yeah,
Servios is awesome. Yeah, Servios is awesome, but they haven't broken through like I want to see them break through yet. Like, they're so close. They've been so close. I love Sprint Vector. I loved Raw Data, and probably some other games from them that I could think of. But yeah, they're getting by right now. But I want to see Servios really explode onto the scene with something new and original, because I really believe in them. I really think they have the talent and ability to be able to do it. They just haven't really done it yet.
Yep, I think raw data was a huge thing for them, but we never even got the multiplayer mode over here on PlayStation VR, and so like even their biggest game, the biggest game that they made, we didn't get the complete version of. So I really want to see that change. I want to see them be one of the developers we look to for the future of VR. They've made some really cool moves as far as VR games goes. Like Battle Wake, the control system in that game. If you haven't played Battle Wake, it's just so much fun to steer the ship, man. Like, it's just fun to maneuver that thing, and I didn't think that would be the case. So they know what they're doing. They know how to make fun games, and now they need to kind of pull it back and make something bigger and deeper, and something that we can all go, oh shit, this is like raw data too. Nuts. All right, man, but moving on, we've got an update for Swordsman coming. Oof, not even this week. It's next week. Is that when it's happening?
The 17th, yes.
17th, and this is the advanced physics one, right?
Advanced weapon handling is what it is, which will also affect the physics as well. You can do stuff like grab the sword by the blade now. I don't know why you'd want to do that. My favorite part is that you can basically it's advanced weapon handling, so you can kind of mess around, hold the weapons from different angles, from different parts. One of my favorite things will be to bash somebody's head in with the hilt of a giant claymore. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
This has been teased for a little bit here. Usually Sin is good about teasing it, and then it's out like the next week. This one was teased a little bit early, so we got a little bit more time for this one, but. Man, what's great is when he talks about this game and he says that there's still just so much more to come. That's the impressive part about this, because you can keep tweaking things and keep tweaking things and keep tweaking things and go, okay, the game's it's bigger and it's better and it's crazier than it was before. But the way he talks about it, he's just like, yeah, we're not even fucking close to done. Even though they're obviously they're working on their next game. That there's still just a whole lot more happening with this game. So it just shows how thankful they are to the community that this game sold so well and it allowed them to keep making games. It's a pretty fucking impressive story.
Yeah, I freaking love this game. It's on sale right now too for $13.99, and seriously can't recommend it enough. I know one person out there isn't gonna like it out of every 20, but screw that one person.
He's talking to you, Twitcher.
I totally talked to Twitcher. I love you, Twitcher.
Emily Baxter, hashtag the game kitten with the $2 tip says, who hit the dislike button? Get out of here. Hashtag IRAJ. It's we know who hit the dislike button. Donatello, the scientist game cat, with the $10 tip says, I mean, trust me, I've got a list. Got a list of people who would hit the dislike button. Donatello, scientist game cat with a $10 tip says, as of now, 160 watching, but only 69 likes. You've had your laugh.
Nice.
Now let's get some love and hit that thumbs up. New format looks slick. Thanks, Donatello. I hope you're doing well, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, Swordsman just keeps getting better and better. It's. I swear, every single time there's an update, I'm like, yeah, I've got literally nothing to say about this game because we've talked about it ad nauseum for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
But hey, that's a good thing.
He was definitely hinting at something big coming in the future. I wonder what that's going to be. I'm really. That's got my piqued my interest. I'm curious to see what's gonna end up happening there. Didn't the axe stuff? Isn't that coming later or?
I think that's part of. I think that's part of this actually.
That's part of this. Okay.
Pretty sure.
That's right.
I'd have to.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the axe will like stick in them now. Oh, I love that game, man. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's do this in studio.
Let's do it. Okay, you've got the next news story here, and I have no idea what it means. What does Syth Riders teaser mean, AJ? Explain this to me.
Well, Syth Riders, the Kluge Interactive, they tweeted out something, which their Twitter is just Syth Riders VR. They tweeted out some like weird picture, but then you play the video.
All right, we should be back. Sorry about that, guys. Right. That was on our end. Syth Riders.
Yeah, so Syth Riders released a tweet with just nothing but Morse code, and it's just like, here, I'll tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like beep, 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 beep. No, I was going to actually try and listen to it. But anyways, somebody in the comments below it deciphered it and says says that it says, "Where have you gone?" And they alluded to either Alan Jackson or Lucas and Steve's a track by both of those people.
I'm sorry, did you say Alan Jackson?
Yes.
The country singer?
Yeah. So that one was crossed off. Somebody else followed up and they said it's probably Lucas and Steve, which is a song by them called "Where Have You Gone?" And funny enough, I actually clicked on the video and it actually had a guy with like wearing VR in the video, and I was like, oh, interesting. But it's an okay song, you know. It's more music to Syth Riders. Not probably really like something I'm crazy about personally. Mm-hmm. But you know, I've gone to say how many times I love Syth Riders and I love the music in Syth Riders. I play it all the time, and believe me, Brian, once it gets multiplayer, you will understand. You will fully understand, Brian.
Yeah, I don't want to make it sound like I don't like Syth Riders. I reviewed it. I had a great time with it. I gave it a 9. So I thought it was amazing, you know, especially for
because I peer pressured you.
Well, maybe a little bit. For the $25 price point, though, I was like, this is amazing. Like, I absolutely got a ton of. What are you doing? And so yeah, so I think it's great. It didn't. I haven't been playing it much at all since I finished the review. I got back to Beat Saber. I've been playing that a little bit, enjoying the songs that I like on that, and didn't go back to Syth Riders. So that's what I'm 100%. I don't doubt anybody for a second when they say that the multiplayer is where it's at with Syth Riders, and I'm going to be really, really sad that I didn't stick with it and get really, really good, because when multiplayer comes along, I'm going to suck, but I'm going to want to play a lot of multiplayer.
Yeah, man. That multiplayer will change your understanding of the game. It really does. I liked it before multiplayer, but when I tried it, the multiplayer, I was like, wow, this is incredible. This is rhythm game Mario Kart. And it's amazing to hear everybody laughing and yelling and going, at the same time. And it's just incredible what it can do. And like I said, and for me, the most important part is the music. I'm such a stickler for music. I know I'm super picky about the music I listen to, but they nailed a lot of what I like, and it's just so much better. This song, like I said, that I heard, it sounds okay. But
Do we know?
I'll take it.
Do we know what they're teasing? Are they teasing paid DLC? Are they teasing free DLC? Do we know?
Me, this to me seems like a free song, or maybe, yeah, I don't know. That's all I can tell is to me it sounds like just one song.
Scott Jesco, PSN, Harry Fell, the PSVR Game Cap for Life. Wow, the 2 quid says, "Don't forget to shoot the balls, AJ. Shoot the balls."
I played Sniper Elite on Saturday Night Live stream, and I think it was Brax Bro said he would tip $2 every time I shot somebody with the X-ray in the balls, and it was great. I made $4. Woohoo!
I thought you were better at shooting people in the balls than that. I think you made $50.
My X-ray was turned off, so
Okay.
so I had to. It was turned off at first. I had to turn it back on.
Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat with the $10 tip says, "What I love about Syth Riders is once you complete a song, you can just hit play, random song, and away you go. Good way to easily check out all the songs."
I've been hearing that a lot lately. A ton of people have been saying, "Oh my God, like I wish Beat Saber had this," which is like a playlist feature or just a random song thing where you can just go. Like he says, it just goes from song to song to song to song. And I totally agree. That's not something I ever even thought about. But when everybody mentioned it, yeah, I'm like, you guys are absolutely right. That's why I love this community, man. Community full of like experienced gamers. Couldn't ask for anything better, man. Also, really sweet people. I noticed when Donatello tipped or asked or said, show some support, hit the like button. We got like 25 likes. Thank you guys, man. That shit, all that stuff, you watching, supporting, really, really is appreciated by us very much. So,
I agree, man. These are the people who get me out of bed every single day, and thank you very much for that. You don't even know.
I thought it was me calling you, going, Brian, wake up.
Dude, I was watching a horror movie this morning, right? So I was trying to let's kick back for a second here. I was watching. Wait, what movie was it? It doesn't even matter. Although now I'm trying to figure it out. I woke up this morning. I had done the right thing. I had made a whole jug of iced coffee the night before, and I was like, you know what? This is a nice morning. I'm gonna snuggle up in bed with my blankets, gonna watch a horror movie, and have a nice cup of iced coffee and watch a horror movie. This is gonna be great. Like 10 minutes in, AJ calls me. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. 9 a.m. The problem is, so we tell everybody about Discord. Like, oh, come over and watch, hang out with us on Discord. The problem is if I'm on Discord, the second AJ sees me type, he realizes I'm awake, and then he calls me.
Oh, I didn't pay any attention to that. Anyways, Brian, let's get back to business here.
All right.
Because we have 2 games we got to review. One being, we'll start with this one.
Yeah.
DeMagnete, which I can't wait to tell you about this game.
Yeah.
I really wish I didn't have to talk about this. Oh, okay, but we're going to.
Do you say you wish you didn't have to talk about it?
Yes.
Wow. So I mean, I guess we'll get into that soon enough, but
Yeah.
But I mean, how would you describe this, man? This is, I mean, pretty straightforward puzzle game, right?
Yeah, definitely a pretty basic, straightforward puzzle game where you basically just roam around. They just added smooth, full locomotion and smooth turning.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't even play it without that. So good on them, and props to them for listening to the community and adding that based on feedback. I always have respect for you doing that no matter what.
Well, I mean, let's take a beat here and say, well, it should have been there from the beginning because it was in the PC VR version from the beginning, and they were just like, oh, we didn't know PlayStation VR.
That's
we
true.
Didn't know. I was like, what? What do you mean you didn't know? Like what? You didn't play any PlayStation VR games when you were making a PlayStation VR game? I'm so confused. But
yeah, but it's basically a game where you walk around and you have to solve puzzles by controlling magnets, and you use them to place them in different places. They either repel or they attract to each other, and you use that to solve the puzzles. And that's it. That's the game. I think I've been hearing a lot of cats play this. One thing that they really like about this is that the voice actress in it is Ashley Birch, who does Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's like what gets everybody in the door for this game. That's like the one thing I've noticed. A lot of people that play this game, they love Aloy, they love Horizon Zero Dawn, and so they have that connection with it that way. And I thought it was cool, but I was like, she totally didn't have to be here doing this.
Well, it is a little strange. I feel like I'm starting to feel like this is me and not the games anymore. But when Will Wheaton did the voice of one of the main characters in I Expect You to Die 2, I said, like I didn't feel as though it was necessary. I didn't even realize it was Will Wheaton at first.
Right.
This doesn't make any difference to me whatsoever. It could have been pretty much any dude, and I would have been fine with it. It's cooler because it is Will Wheaton. But did it make anyone buy the game who wasn't going to buy it before? And I think the same goes for Ashley Birch. It's just, it could have been anybody. For me, it could have been anybody, and I don't think the voice acting is good enough where I'm like, oh man, she's the only one that could have done this, or the character is fully developed enough where it's like, oh, you needed an experienced voice actor to handle this. What kind of drives me crazy about it is that at the beginning of the game, she's just a voice in your head. She's kind of like there with you, and you have no idea where this voice is coming from. It's just sort of narrating and giving you little bits of information as you go, and then you meet her. And it's the most generic VR thing of all time when you meet her. It's like, do we really need a little robot companion floating around next to us? No, we do not, because that's the most generic VR thing of all time. And I will tell you that the few times I got stuck in this game, there were two major times I got stuck. And I was like, oh, well, this is perfect. I've got this little robot floating companion with me who's talking to me and sort of walking me through stuff. I'm assuming that maybe she's going to deliver a hint after I'm stuck for 5 minutes or so. Nope, nothing. She just kind of floats around, stares at me. Like,
they repeat the same lines over and over.
Well, yeah, what are you even doing here? Like, what is really your point in the game other than just to add a little bit of narration, which I'm going to say, there's a reason that I don't have my review out yet. I've just finished chapter 8, and there's 11 chapters. So something could happen story-wise in the last 3 chapters, but man, I'll tell you, nothing has happened story-wise in the first 8 chapters. So story-wise, I'm a little taken aback by this.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think this game to me like had some potential to it. Like, I like the atmosphere, but graphically, like, it's so low res, and it has a cool art style, but I feel like the art style is completely wasted because like it doesn't actually look that good in the headset, and if you look close up to everything, it doesn't get better. It gets much worse when you really look closer at it. And I don't know. I just, I love indie games like the rest of us, like a lot of us do. But there's a difference to me between kind of like indie game and this is going to sound so harsh. I'm so sorry, but it's like a little amateur. It seems like a little bit of an amateur game design. It's a very simplistic thing that like I see what they were going for, but I don't know. I'm not, I talk about all the time how I hate puzzle games and then there's so many that I do like, and this is just not one of them for me.
Yeah. I definitely like this game a whole lot more than you do.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I really liked what it was going for in some ways, but I just think I think this game is, if I would have played this years and years ago, an early VR title when it was still new to me, I would have probably really, really liked this. But to me, it's a little too late. And I don't know. At this state, day and age, I'm just like, there's nothing about it that impresses me or grabs me or really care about.
Road to the Game Cat with the $20 tip says, damn time zones, be glad to get to one place and stay there for a while. I probably missed the Yuki discussion. You have not. That's the end of the show. But my 2 cents is awesome bullet hell game. Thank you very much, Rody.
Nice.
I really appreciate you. All right, yeah, let's get back to this. Dude, this is.
Did you beat it yet?
You really don't listen when I talk. I have 3 more chapters to go.
Okay. I tried. I told you I tried.
Yeah. 3 more chapters to go. And again, the story so far hasn't gone anywhere for me. And this is so the opposite of the type of puzzle games I like to go for. Like there's one thing when you're playing a game like Static, and it's just like, okay, it fades out and brings you to, here you are, this is your new puzzle. It fades out, brings you to your new puzzle. But then it's another thing when you play a game like Red Matter and you're walking around. And I know Red Matter obviously had much higher production values, probably had a much bigger team going for it. But it's a game where you experience puzzles in the environment. You experience things that feel more natural to you. This is just it. I'm almost curious as to why we're even walking from puzzle to puzzle, because it's literally you go through a door and then it's another puzzle, and you have to figure that puzzle out to open the next door, and then you walk through that door and you have to figure out another puzzle, and you have to figure out that puzzle before you go and open the next door, and it is just so puzzle focused in terms of like it seems like it's trying to distract you with a little bit of narrative and in the voiceovers and allowing you to walk around and you can explore, but it all just feels so tacked on. So luckily, and I think this is where you and I are going to differ, I actually do enjoy the types of puzzles that they're offering. It's all magnet based, and you've got one red glove and one blue glove, and they do quite a bit with these blocks, but still you're placing blocks on panels.
This is the difference for me. When I was playing this, I was thinking about the difference between a game like this and a game like Transpose. Transpose, another game nobody really cared for, but they should have. To me, the core gameplay and the core puzzle design of Transpose was amazing and pretty unique to VR. You can't do that outside of VR. And it was absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, making a copy of your own movements to work together to solve a puzzle. Like, yeah, at its core, yeah, you're just trying to grab a block and place it into a square hole. But what you're doing is like you're making copies of yourself, having them work together, hand the block off and stuff across a whole arena in outer space, and then using that to solve the puzzle. And they get like really extreme, really crazy. And for this, it's just too simple for me. This is honestly, I felt like this is something that could be made in dreams.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that criticism because we have seen really, really good things made in dreams. So
true.
I'm like that criticism doesn't work for me. I was like, yeah, really talented people make really awesome things in dreams.
Well, let me put it this way then. And this will be like probably the final thing I say on this. I've played better puzzle games in dreams.
Gotcha.
And that's like, it's again, I would have liked this several years ago. Maybe if you're a newcomer to VR, need something to start up with. I wish it looked better though.
Yeah.
I wish it looked better, because then at least I could be like, well, at least it looks stunning and it's like this really cool world, but it doesn't even look that great. So there's nothing really about it for me.
Yeah, it is crazy. The further you get into the game, the more the environments start to open up, and it's not just like these purple room after purple room after purple room, and you start seeing like some really bigger places. And I couldn't stop thinking, I was like, I'm on a PlayStation 5, and this thing is just not very sharp. Like, there's just no reason. It's like it's using a lot of plain textures. It's using, it's not doing anything crazy, and it could certainly use a pro patch. But I honestly think it could look better on the OG, to be honest with you. So I don't know, man. I got to be honest. I'm having some fun with it. I'm enjoying. I do think that when you solve the puzzles, you feel smart. You feel like it's very rewarding. I'm having a problem with it though, in the sense that I'll breeze through 5 puzzles in a row, and then I'll get to one and I'll be like, I have no fucking idea what to do right now. And it's not even like, oh, there's too many things for me to try. Usually it's a lack of things for me to try. I'm like, there's no blocks. There's nothing for me to do. Like, I don't fucking understand what you want me to do. And sometimes it's me being dumb, and sometimes it's the game not explaining things very well. And I hate when it's the game not explaining things well, or being like, oh, this is actually a new type of block. We didn't even tell you it's a new type of block. I was like, well, that's fucking not cool. I was like, it's just dumb, you know? And so, but when it is me, when I'm like, oh man, I just feel dumb because it took me, I should have been able to figure this one out like way faster. Then figuring it out, I'm like, okay, all good. That was me. But when it's the game, that's not fair.
Yeah. There's just a million other puzzle games I'll recommend first.
That is very, very true. Emily Baxter, hashtag the game kit with a $2 tip, says cartoony rage tip, hashtag hire AJ.
Thank you, Emily. All right, man. So the other game we want. Are you ready to move on?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
The other game we wanted to talk about is Yuki VR. Now, this is not out on PlayStation VR yet. Hope to hear some news about it pretty soon, though. And there is a Quest version. And last time we talked about this game, we were like, oh, we got, it's going to release on Quest. And then we got to wait on PSVR. And then they reached out to us, or me at least, and they said, hey, we'd be happy to let you preview it on Quest because, you're really excited about this one because I love bullet hells, I love shmups, I love all these types of games, shoot 'em ups, whatever you want to call them, arcade shooters. Yeah, so we've had to preview this. Now, I've played this a couple hours. I'm a couple hours into this,
Same.
but let me hear your first impressions because I know you just recently played this for the first time, and I haven't heard your impressions on it yet.
Yeah, I started playing this today, and I started playing it on Quest, my Quest 1. I've got a Quest 2 showing up later this week. And then when I decided about an hour and a half in that I wanted to capture some gameplay footage, I hooked it up to my PC, and then downloaded the PC version, and then basically I had to start over because I couldn't transfer my save. And if I can transfer my save, I don't know how to fucking do that. So I just started over. So this is the PC footage you're watching here. And it is very, very much like if you played Pixel Rip 1995, it is very much like the Star Fox level where you're controlling the ship, right? And it's a little bit of bullet hell going on there. And that's really it, man. Like you've got your two controllers. In one you've got a little orb, like your little companion orb, and then in the other one you've got Yuki. You're shooting with Yuki, and the idea here is that obviously there's a shitload of spray of bullets coming at you at all times, and even like there's some environmental stuff you see here, which I think is great. I love the environmental obstacles because it just feels a little bit more fun than just a spray of bullets. But you're maneuvering her through the spray of bullets. You don't have to worry about the orb. The orb, the first thing I feel like you have to learn in this game is to fire with Yuki and just use the orb to pick up everything, all the power-ups, all the coins, or whatever the hell they call the currency in this game, and that is the first thing, the first thing to mention. It's some multitasking. I'll say that.
Yeah, I was super hyped up about this game, and when I first played it, like I loved from the trailer, I loved the music, I loved the art style, and getting in the game, the first level is just kind of like a warm-up round. It tells you to go on patrol, and I'll be honest with you, like my first impression, I was like, this is a little bit more like simple and slow. And I was like, well, let me wait and let me give it a second to actually get going. Maybe this is just tutorial, and I'm like ready for level 5 already. And that I'm like happily actually happened to be the case. The music kicked in on the second level, and I was like, there's the music I was looking for. Like the music rocks in this game overall. It's got that 8-bit kind of era feel to it, inspiration behind it, but uses a newer style of music, and it's just epic. It's got this art style, man. What did you think of the art style? Because the art style, I think, is really, really incredible. It's got this Japanese kind of anime, a little bit of influence, but then it's just got this like rad bullet hell neon kind of look to it as well.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely has an anime look, and also it helps that everything sort of looks like it's taking place in Japan, right? So you get the cherry blossoms and everything, and it just has a nice look to it overall. Everything looks super crisp, super clear. Really, really nice art style. I don't think I totally agree with the music statement because after dying.
First level I didn't like. First level is the only level I didn't like the music so far.
It wasn't that I didn't like any of the music because I thought it was all fine, but after once I hit my third hour of playing, I was like, you know what, let's take the music down and let me have Alexa play some of my favorite music. It's like some real some rockin' tunes and shit, like stuff that I really love and I can scream along to while I play this game. And I actually preferred that quite a bit more. But what I'll say is it's a roguelite. And so I was a little thrown off that the very first time I played, like a lot of roguelites and like a lot of games in general, you'll get to a boss and you have to die. Right, the very first time you see the first boss, it kills you. Right. There's just no way around that. It's like part of the game. Right. And I was like, okay, well, cool. It's like, and I wasn't sure if that was the case or not right away. But what I was hoping for was that I was like, oh, I'm not even going to be able to complete the first stage because it's a roguelite. I'm going to have to keep coming back and taking all of my currency and upgrading my weapons and upgrading my my shields and my HP and my fire rate. I thought it was going to be way more difficult. When I saw 60% of the game on my first life, which I thought was a little bit. Yeah, I finished the first 3 stages on my very first try, and I was like, and there's only 5 stages. So I thought that was absolutely crazy that they actually let you play for so long before you die, and then you come back and it's like, okay, well now I'm upgrading my character with a charge shot, with a permanent HP boost. You guys know that progression systems are my favorite part of pretty much any game.
Yes.
And this has a great one, like any good roguelite. The permanent stat upgrades are fantastic, and this is great. But I felt like when I got back and upgraded my character, I was like, I'm ready to take down the last 2 stages now. I'm good to go. Like, let's do this. So I don't feel as though there's a huge challenge here, and I'm a little bit concerned that it's not going to last me as long as I want it to.
Well, I think you're just kicking ass because I felt like I played for a while and I thought it was pretty challenging. When you got through your first run and everything, yeah, you said you saw like you have the new suits and everything unlocked. Yeah, that's the cool thing about the progression in this. It is a permadeath kind of deal. It's a permadeath roguelite where you start from the beginning again, but you do unlock. I think you do unlock some permanent stuff, and you do get alternate models. Some have different like special attacks and stuff like that. So. I don't know, man. I feel like the game was actually pretty challenging for me, and I'm surprised you got that far. I guess you just kind of figured it out real quick, but it was a little bit more challenging for me. I didn't get that far on my first run. No way.
Shoe Guyver with the Australian $5 tip sent a little emoji and then followed up, said for some reason I couldn't send a super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Sean Roy says, I always get confused with that term, roguelite or roguelike. Roguelite, Sean, the easy answer that I'd use to distinguish the two, and there's more characteristics in this to distinguish the roguelite from the roguelike, but the simple answer for me, when a game has permanent stat upgrades, that automatically puts it into the roguelite category. Roguelike means that you are starting from scratch every single time you play it, and you don't have any permanent upgrades that you carry with you. Like every run, you are starting from scratch, completely from scratch. There's a lot, like again, that definition is really, really loose, but that's the one that tends to be what a lot of developers go by too.
Yeah, but as I started getting more and more into this game, like I said, I think the game starts a little too slow for me, or it started a little too slow for me, but once it got going, I started to have more fun. Did you play this game standing or sitting?
Oh, standing. But luckily, I played it once in the living room and once here in the bedroom, and I always had to make sure that I was right in front of the couch or the bed, because there were plenty of times where I had to kind of crouch down, and instead of crouching, I just sat on the couch or sat on the bed and stood back up. I was like, this is perfect. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, that's the thing. The first couple rounds I played, I will say I was sitting, and this game is so much better for standing. Like the gameplay is better. It's more immersive standing. I don't feel like it's as much fun sitting down, although it is possible to play sitting down. I think it loses a little bit of it, of its like kind of immersiveness when you're sitting down. But yeah, as I played this game more and more, I really started to enjoy it. I really love the boss fights. I liked a lot of the challenges. Like you said, those obstacles that kind of fall. I mean, dude, you got to what level? That wasn't all 3 hours, right? That you played.
No, like I said, the problem was that my first hour was on Quest, and then when I decided like, oh crap, I got to capture footage for GamesCast, I came in here and I had downloaded the PC version, and then had to start all over again because my save didn't transfer over.
Okay.
And I had the exact same experience on my first run of each one. I was like, this is fucking crazy easy. Here I am, level 4. Let's do this.
Yeah. When I every time I restart this, it gets crazier and crazier. You're not gonna.
Well, that's what Triangulator was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me. When you go back in there on your second run, like you're gonna get your shit.
Well, and I did a second run on each save, on my Quest save and my PC save, and
Okay.
I saw differences. I saw that maybe
Yeah.
it was a little bit harder, but I didn't see that it was like extremely difficult compared to, my character's now leveled up, so now I can take down enemies a little bit easier, and so the
Yeah.
level of challenge that it increased didn't feel like it scaled one to one with my upgrades. So I was like, oh, this is still pretty easy.
Yeah.
I figure I'll give it a couple more tries, and then I'll come back with a better. I'm sure I'll get my ass kicked the next couple times I play, and then I'll go. I take it back, guys. I
Yeah,
apologize.
yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. Like I've gotten destroyed, just totally destroyed on some, and it's just at random. Like I've played times after that, runs after that were a little bit easier. So I think it's kind of that procedural generated stuff going at work here, where yeah, sometimes you can just get a run that just clobbers you, and other times, I've gotten pretty far too. I think I've gotten to level world 5 or something, but it gets pretty challenging. I don't think there's any question about it being too easy or anything. But yeah, I like the upgrades that it has, and I like the abilities that it has. I like the different ships that you can choose from, and overall, like, this game's not going to be for everybody, but I think for the ones that it is geared towards, I think they're going to be really pleased with it once they get into it more. Like, maybe at first it might be a little slow, but I think once it gets going, and especially once they come back to it, they're gonna really really enjoy it.
Yeah, one of the things for me, having, cut my teeth on some old school bullet hell games back in the day, one of the things that
Yeah.
always holds you back is the speed of your ship and the precision of the ship that you're moving around the screen with the controller. This felt so much different because it's tracking one to one. You're moving your character around the environment and through this,
Right.
through this whole flood of bullets, and it's one to one, and so it's way easier to navigate through the bullet hell elements than it would be on a traditional Dreamcast game with a Dreamcast controller along those side of things. But and it feels weird to me. It feels weird to me that the Quest controllers don't have a lot of weight, and so I'm just like, doing this. It's very much the Beat Saber thing where it's a little bit of weight actually helps out the gameplay. So I think
Right.
this is going to play really well on PSVR when it gets here.
Yeah.
Because the
I hope
move
so.
controllers, I think the size of the move controller and the weight of it will kind of be a little bit more one to one with what I want to do with the character, and it won't have me kind of like flailing so much. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I
no,
did
I'm
some of my
really
favorite
enjoying this.
moments. Yeah, looking at your footage, and yeah, seeing like the bullet hell in action. There's definitely some moments, like, I played a little bit just to refresh my memory right before the show, and like there was just some stuff where I was like, how the hell did I survive that? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, there are times where you cannot see, and there's just shit everywhere. There's giant obstacles, and then there's bullets coming through those obstacles. And there was just so many times where I was just like, how did I make it through that? Super cool.
yeah, no, absolutely. Donatello says, what controls will this support on PSVR? I can only imagine it's going to be two move controllers because I don't think the idea is to be controlling these two different characters simultaneously and working together in tandem to get through the level. So I can't imagine this would even work properly with a DualShock 4, to be honest with you.
Right.
So this will, yeah, like Rody said, this will be the only way to play it with the moves. But this is pretty fantastic, man. I was gonna say, when we first saw this game, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think they need to make this. There was a part of me that said they're just trying to flesh out that whole Star Fox level of Pixel Rip 95 into a full-fledged game, and I couldn't have been more wrong. This feels great. I love the look of it. I love the way it plays, and I
When
yeah, I can't
yeah.
wait to get back to it tonight. Honestly,
Yeah, when I said, talking about DeMagnete, and I said, I love indie games, but that felt a little bit amateur. This is the opposite. This is the kind of indie game that I like. Like, I don't care if you're a smaller team, have a smaller game. When you innovate and you really, just have something at least to this degree, this level of experience, this level of creativity and gameplay and fun and mechanics and progression system, stuff like that. That is like the least amount of like indie that I like to see. Anything else to me comes off as a little bit like I said, a little bit more amateur, like not like a product you're selling me, but more like a game that you're learning and building in the process.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Hopefully, everyone around here knows full well that we love indie developers. We absolutely love what indie studios have done over the last 5 years. But that doesn't mean that every indie game is going to be great. there's
Right.
there's great
And
indie
I was talking
games.
about DeMagnete. This
Yeah.
game is great.
This game is great. Yeah,
Pretty good so far.
yeah, yeah. I'm interested to see what other power ups I can get. What other permanent upgrades I can get for my character. I'm curious to see. I don't even have like a real full understanding of what you're taking into battle every time. Like some stuff is just for one specific run, and some stuff is permanent. But I don't even know all the options there because I just playing it today. I really don't have a full understanding of how everything works. So this is I believe Q4 currently. Is that the estimated release date for this? No release date. Wow.
Nope.
Let's fucking hope it comes soon, man, because this would be a great title to round out the rest of the year on PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, man. You know what that means.
You know what time it is? It's 20 questions time, baby. Let's go.
Man, when did I start dreading this game?
Oh,
way
man.
no one understands how difficult this game is until you have to play it yourself on camera. Let me bring up the timer. You're the host, right? You got a game ready to
I
go?
am hosting. Yes, I do.
You better be counting those questions, man, because
Oh, shit. Thanks for reminding me. I don't know why I forget that every time.
yeah, I don't know why you do either. We've only done this 1,000 times.
All right, chat. I want you to throw him off as much as possible.
What?
Yeah, chat's on my side today, bro.
What a dick move. We're going to come up with a new hashtag by the end of this episode. All right, you guys, if you haven't played PSVR 20 questions with us before, this is how it works. AJ's going to think of a PSVR game. He already has one in mind. And then we have 20 yes or no questions to figure out what game that is. And we're going to put 6-minute timer up on the screen from Timertopia. And let's do this thing. Does it have aim support?
No.
Does it use the moves?
No, not really. Not really move support, no.
Not really move support.
Yeah, I'd say mostly no.
Is this an experience?
Oh, it's an experience, all right. I mean, no, it's a game, but it's an experience too.
Okay. Has
It's a game.
this developer made more than one PSVR game? All you are is history, and the chat goes, "Not really?" Question mark. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys thought that was stupid too.
They have made another VR game.
Okay. Okay.
Brax Bro says, "Is it heavy rain?" Sean, press X to Sean.
Is this a do you pilot a vehicle of any kind?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. No, you don't pilot a vehicle of any kind.
Okay. Is it first person? A lot of people in the chat think it's Astro.
It's not first person.
It's not first person. All
Yeah,
right.
no, it's not.
Okay.
Jason.
It's great.
Was it Jason or was it Sean? I thought it was Sean. I thought it was Sean.
Jason?
Oh, was it Jason?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Jason.
Fucking love that game, but holy crap, that's some terrible voice acting.
they're all like Dutch or Swedish or something.
Third person. Is your character a human? Is your third person character a human?
I'm gonna say sort of, yeah. Coral. I've got the chat so distracted with heavy rain.
Press X.
It's a humanoid.
So
It's a humanoid character for sure.
humanoid character. All right. Okay, that eliminates Astrobot. That eliminates Moss. Is it a puzzle game?
No, it's not a puzzle game.
Okay, that eliminates Along Together. That eliminates Carly and the Reaper Man. Can't be Ghost Giant. No, those are all definitely fuzzy wuzzy creatures. Yeah, I like Bound. That's a good answer. Trying to think of what I can ask to not just eliminate Bound.
Question 9.
Yeah, are you? Well, I'll just ask you: are you a ballerina in this game?
No, you're not a ballerina.
All right, we just had to eliminate that.
Question 10.
Yeah, I like. People are saying Theseus. There's not that many third-person games in VR, so it's not bad trying to eliminate it this way. Does this game wish it was God of War?
No.
It's not Theseus. Okay.
Theseus is a great $2 game.
I don't even think it's a great $2 game.
Don't pay any more than $2 for it.
I don't like. Yeah, is it cartoony? Is it a cartoony POS? As Emily Baxter.
It's not a cartoony POS.
All right. Well, that gets rid of Trover.
10, 11. This is question 12.
Does this look like an N64 game? Wait, let me rephrase the question. Do you make a terrible face every time I bring this game up or say anything positive about it?
No.
Okay, it's not Marvel's, guys. Kramer, it's not first person. It's third person. Oh, man. Can you still play this game? Are the servers that... wait, let me ask you, are the servers still up for this game?
I don't know. This game doesn't have servers.
All right, it's not Preda.
So
Gabriel.
I'll give you that one for free.
All right, we have 30 seconds left. I can't think of any third person.
Get more genres.
Is there? Okay, it's not a puzzle game, so it can't be Demo. Is it retro inspired?
Yes, it is kind of retro inspired.
Is it Super Nintendo inspired?
It is not Super Nintendo inspired.
Okay, we have 7 seconds. Is it Pixel Rip 1989?
It is not Pixel Rip 1989, my friend. I'm so sorry. I win. It is.
What is it?
Res Infinite.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a. I was hoping you'd go. Oh, Stevie Dan, you were so close.
Man, you guys. That was definitely a tough one. Is it not first person in VR?
It's third person.
Wow,
it's like third.
It's been so long
person.
since I played this.
You aim with your head, like you aim in first person, but the game is third person because you have that humanoid kind of person.
Yeah. No,
that
for
you
sure.
Control.
That was a good answer.
So. I was like, oh man, like I didn't realize this was going to be so hard.
Although it totally supports the moves.
Does it?
Yeah, 100%. You can play with moves or
all
the
I know,
DualShock.
But you don't do like all I've heard is that the move vibrates.
No. You move the cursors on screen. It's just how you want to aim. Do you want to aim with the DualShock? I mean, do you want to aim with your head and you play with the DualShock, or do you want to aim with the moves?
You can aim with the. Yeah. You can aim with the moves.
Yeah, but I hate it. Sure? I don't like the move support in this game. I think it. I don't think it's very good because it doesn't feel one-to-one. It feels like you're dragging the cursors around the screen, and I hate that. But honestly, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't think even if I had that, I don't think I would have gotten it because I just my brain was not on this whatsoever. I was obviously thinking about platformers and in that style of game. So, no, I don't think I would have gotten it either way. Yeah, Stevie Dan says you guys didn't like the moves. I know I didn't like the moves.
All I knew was that. So I said kind of because I only knew that the moves vibrated, and I didn't realize you actually like could use them. I said it as. I said yeah, kind of.
It was. We were all a little bit intrigued by that answer. That's for sure. Yeah.
You don't play the game with the moves. Nobody does.
Oh my God. All right, guys. That was good. That was good. I should have gotten that. There were. Man, yeah, I'm bummed I didn't. My brain wasn't there because somebody did somebody did suggest Tetris at the very, very beginning of the game, and if I had even thought about Enhance for a second, I probably could have gotten this. Steve Irie says AJ's banned from 20 questions. GameCat, formerly known as Mad Max Ram with the $2 tip, says still on the hashtag hire AJ train. That's right, guys. Thank you so much for everybody getting on board with that. It was really, really nice to see you guys come out and help support the channel. And like now that you kind of know what the trajectory is, the plans are for the channel, we've sort of been saying it here and there over the last year or so. But yeah, we definitely want to get AJ doing this full time as soon as possible. So again, if you can help us out on patreon.com/withoutparolegames, that'd be fantastic, man. We want to be doing this full force, both of us going at this full time for you before PSVR 2 gets here, long before PSVR 2 gets here. So,
like old time's sake, man.
We thank you guys so much for getting us to where we are right now, and we very much appreciate wherever you take us. We love you so much.
Remember tips videos. Remember, I don't know. Saturday Night live streams on Without Parole. Let's do this.
Oh, yeah. That could be a thing. Very interesting. Guys, want to thank a few people. Want to thank Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, who makes sure that this show has timestamps a few hours after it happens every single time. I can't believe he keeps doing it, man. One of these days he's going to go, Brian, I'm fucking bored of this shit. I understand. I can't believe you didn't opt out sooner. Miles Dyer, who runs our Instagram account, Jay Meow, who's helping us get the website up and running, and make sure that this thing happens up on Spotify and up on Apple Podcasts and a bunch of other streaming services. We keep forgetting to mention that at the beginning of the show. We should probably mention that. Make sure you also join us over on Discord. That's where all the moderators are making sure everything runs smoothly. They're doing that there. They're doing that here. Thank you to all the moderators. You are absolutely amazing. I don't know what I would do without you in my life. Who am I forgetting, AJ?
Me?
Thanks, AJ.
Mods. You probably already said mods. You said Miles Dyer. Professor Lilith running the multiplayer.
Yeah, Professor Lilith, thank you. Good stuff.
Yeah. Jay Meow doing the website.
Boy, you weren't paying attention at all. Okay, that's fine. Why do I ask you questions? But guys, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who hung out and hung out and watched live with us today. Thank you everybody who participated in the chat. Thank you to everybody who donated during the show today, and of course, thank you to everybody who sat back, watched the show, and didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you so very fucking much. We can't do this without you. One final tip before we roll credits here, and that is Slyword 251, the basement switch flipping game cat. The $5 says move support in res equals hashtag fire AJ.
Brian, cue the cat. I gotta get out of here. They're coming after me.
Man, I should definitely cue the cat. Let's do that. There.
Cue the cat. I gotta go. But I want to first say, see you Wednesday to Blue Chew, the underground game cat elite nerd squad in the house. Miles Dyer. He says, I love how they say my name with the accent. Maybe it's you with the accent. You ever think about that, Miles Dyer?
Wait, is there an accent? Do we need to? How do we say his name?
All you are is history. Laters to you as well. Guy son, fist bump to you. Brax Bro says, well, in case I don't see you later, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I really like the way my robot says that when he says that to me every time. It's so sweet. Scott Jesco, PSN, Harry Fell, PSVR, Game Cat for life. Goodbye to you, sir. Keep that train going. Choo-choo. Triangulator, my dude. Oh, I can't wait to play Hellsweeper VR. It looks like our game for sure. It's our little VR love child. Justin Cassidy says, meow. Sergeant Frosty, I hope this stream was your childhood again. Confuse a game cat. I can't stop laughing. Genetic blasphemy. Rez was 10 years too late to VR as far as I'm concerned. Oh, boo. Boo. You're just mad because you lost and I won. Get some genetic blasphemy. Get some. Stevie Dan, the solo game cat. Twitcher, the single player game cat. Donatello, the scientist game cat. Toss me a ninja slice. Donnie, unconditional malice. That sounds like something Brian would like. Tom, thank you so much. Ian Stanbridge, thank you, homie. Slyword 251, the basement switch flipping game cat, says hashtag fire AJ. Ben Dawson says cancel culture. J Meow, I'm not disqualified. I have diplomatic immunity. Space Denison, good to see you. You'll always be Void Cat to me. Remember, Gabe Cat, formerly known as Mad Max. Witness, I have witnessed thee. Steve Irie, thank you so much, man. Guys, exciting stuff happening this week. Stay tuned and see you Wednesday.
I just want to reiterate, Flame Hat the Game Cat in the chat says, suck it, AJ.
I love you too, Flame Hat.
Good night, everyone.